Hello everyone, Natalia here, and today, because you guys vote for this cross stitching, okay, I ask you, when I open this LETISTITCH two canvases, Cottage Pond and Ballerina, most of you voted to start this cross stitch first. And I think that would be actually nicer on camera because it's lots of bright colors in here. Image is gorgeous and it's a very easy image. There is no back stitch in here. All cross stitch canvas, you have to stitch in 2 threads, that's it. So I thought, well, let me do this image with you together, and we're gonna stitch little bit by little bit. And Ballerina I probably will start as well, and maybe I will just show you like progress, work in progress. Maybe we will stitch together a little bit by rotating all cross stitches. That will be starting point. Now what I want to point it out, just for in case if company listen to me, or even some of you guys, I was reading this instruction on the back of this page and I found printed mistake in here, maybe by translating wrong. For example, in here is in English, and this is everything is right in here what they say in here, but then in here we have in Russian and I think maybe French or Spanish. There's some different language in here, I'm not sure. It's not right, because in here in this instruction, the way it says about have to finish or start pointed out to 2 different pictures. For example, in here like 7 supposed to go, let me say, okay, do not make knots to secure a thread, and here's the going to the figure 8, which is here I show you the way actually how we're doing when I teach you how to stitch. In this 2, it's point to this one, which is actually this is supposed to be 8 and this is supposed to be 7 in here. So they printed out wrong in here. It says about the have to secure thread, it's showing to here, but it's actually I have to do a half of the stitch with the 2 different threads, so it's not right. 7 and 8 in here switched. It's supposed to be 8 then 7 and not 7 or 8. What I'm saying, I pointed out in here to the wrong pictures, this 2. In English instruction it's proper way. Okay, so we're done with this one. Now I was looking on this all the DMC codes in here, and I thought, well, everything goes, see, like numbers, big numbers, and all of a sudden here 1. I was like, wow, what does this 1 mean? Little dot as a symbol in here. Okay, and this was kind of strange to me. So when I look on my threads, this is actually pointed out to this white threads. I don't, okay, let me just fix a little bit camera so I can see better. So yeah, white. So I don't know, white doesn't have a, like in diamond painting we call 5200 DMC code, and in here I guess just a 1, no number, I don't know. So that was kind of strange to me. Now when I last night was doing counting actually, so I did already counting. As you can see, it's look crazy, right? Lots of pins in here, and here's the first page that I will start. So I'm gonna show you how I did my measurements. I will start my canvas, and let me just open for you right now. Okay, my needle in here, not to lose it. Okay, so I folded canvas in half, and I folded canvas in half again. So what I did, right, I put canvas like this in half. I found my center, I folded again, and this is the point what I have in here. This is center of my canvas. So I pointed out for you with this red bead. Here is my point. So then I started to count how many, for example, from different page, how many of the squares I have by 10, and I count them down my canvas. Then of course I count how many squares I have horizontally, and please don't mistake, pay attention to the canvas. This is like a long way this way canvas, because Cottage gonna go a little bit like a longer horizontal, so don't mistake and mistakenly count your canvas in the wrong side. So then I count by 10. This is all squares by 10. I count to my right side of the canvas, because this is the point. Let me grab pin. Okay, so this is the point, my first cross that I will be going from. So as you can see, there's in here white border, lots of white border too. So when I count, this is my last, how I can show you guys. Okay, maybe I should bring you more close to me. Now I count my last one 10, and here's the pin that I have, this one last pin of mine, right? But because lots of white border, so I went from my second last, which this one pin, this one, and I count from here 1 2 3 4 5, right, and the 1. So with this colorful pin I marked my first stitch that I will create with this pattern. So if I can close to you, as you can see, it's going, here's my last one, last before, and if I count from here, there's like a last, my corner, 1 2 3 4 5, and in here will be my first stitch that I will create. As soon as I make my first stitch, I know that that's my starting point. I can pull out all these pins. I will not need them anymore. Just if you like to mark your canvas with marker, I still didn't test it out, my marker, if I wanna draw a line or some kind of points between those 10 stitches to kind of like a mark in a checkerboard, you know. I don't know yet, but this way when I count, it's easy for me to just pin. And I'm talking right now like to beginners, guys. I know lots of you know already have to stitch, but also lots of people never did. So when you find your center, it's easy to make a pin marks by 10 stitches mark, the way it's have on a pattern, you know, 10 10 10. So better just mark them with the pins, so you can easily find how many you have those squares. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and that's gonna be your last on the bottom. And then from here you count again by 10 and mark, so you don't have to count twice, just for in case you mistake and miscount. So the pins will guide you a little bit better. And then of course, yes, I will start stitching here. Then I will not need all these pins anymore. I just wanted to show you the way I mark my canvas before I start stitching. Now the other thing what I want to show you about thread, because this is 16 count Ada. So here is what I'm gonna do. Let me put this a little bit away now. Okay, this page that we're gonna follow our stitching. We are gonna talk about threads. Okay, so in our pattern, this black square that we have in here, here is the threads for them, and we have two of them in here, but it's the same thing. It's a square and square, so it's a two, like a dark brown color. Now, oh, sorry. I will change camera position. It's just right now I just wanted you to see what I'm gonna do, because what I will do is the way you can thread. There's two different ways you can thread your needle into your patterns. And why is it so dark? If I move light, I'm gonna untangle you. Okay, I should get you a little bit more close to the table. I don't know. What I will do, because it's a 16 count Ada and we need to stitch in 2 threads. Okay, you can make as long thread as you want and pull out 2 threads. For example, you get your thread like meter long, and then you cut, and that's gonna be length of your thread, and you pull out 2 thread. I will do differently. I will cut thread from here much longer, maybe like let's say 2 meters or whatever, because what I'm gonna do, I will pull out my thread by 1 and fold them on half, and I will have 2 threads. That way my beginning of the stitching will be a little bit different that I show you in my other cross stitching. So I will start by securing my thread by the loop, not by the waving on the back of my canvas. So the beginning of my stitching will be a little bit different than in the other my cross stitching of the winter that I have. So let me show you how this gonna work. I'm just gonna untangle right now as much, and I'm just gonna measure how long I want it, because I want to be doubled. Okay, this is, I can do a little bit longer, because this kind of threads, it's easy to cross stitch. If this would be like a cotton threads, that would be more difficult, because they need to be stitched with shorter threads, because they have ability to break more easily. Okay, so I have in here thread. I'm gonna cut. I think that's good enough for me for now, this piece that we will work with. Now I'm gonna reposition camera, because I don't like the way it is. I'm making a shadow with myself, so I will get back to you. So here's my thread. I did maybe like 1.5 to 2 meters. I like to cross stitch with longer threads than shorter. So what I'm gonna do, how I pull out, I'm gonna grab 1 thread only from here, and I am gonna pull like this. You see it's crawling up in here on my finger, and I'm just keep pulling, make sure it's not tangled in here, and I just keep going like this. Make sure this, I'm gonna lose this one like on the floor to untangle. make sure I just keep in it. You see how it's kind of in my hand crawling up in here. If you're careful, don't worry. Boom. Okay, one thread came out and this one automatically got to their original position, you know. So that's it. You have no knots or nothing. That's the way I pull out my thread. Okay, now what I'm going to do, all those pins in here, let me put my canvas away a little bit in here from here because it's curling up. Okay, now in one of my video, I cannot remember who, but when I was showing my presents that my subscriber, lovely Jamie, sent me this, and they not everybody know what this is. This is a needle threader. If you can't thread your threads into your needle, this tool will help you. So I'm gonna show right now on a camera. It's gonna be a little bit longer video, but I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So I fold my threads in here in half because I will do different techniques to start with. Okay, and I'm gonna pull and make sure it's all straight in here. Now we're gonna thread our threads into the needle. So this is the tool 4. I pick in this smaller size. I go through my needle like this, you see that? Then I put my threads in here in this. Okay, like this, you see that? And then I pull. Okay, make sure we're in the camera. And then we pull. This will help you to get your threads into your needle. So this is what this tool for. All right, very easy to work with. So what I did, as you can see, let me now zoom out a little bit. Here's the 2 threads that separated. This is gonna be my I will end it up with this piece. This side that has no end, this is gonna be our start into the canvas. Okay, now I'm gonna get my canvas. Okay, so of course right now we have a whole bunch in here, the pins, and because I already count, and this last pin for me, it's the last in here, this one corner, but I don't need this corner. I need to get all the way to here, right? So I'm just gonna pull out this pin because I don't need this pin right now. It's on my way, kinda. Okay, and I do have another pin that kind of like a crisscross in here. So because I already pre-mark where my stitch will go, I'm gonna pull out this one as well for now, so I have more open. So this is my first stitch in here. Oh, the other way. Okay, so when I count, this is my first stitch. This is the one it's gonna be, because the way I count, it's all the way those pins. I pull out pins from this corner and from this corner, and then I left the colorful one. It's this one. That's the one we need. Okay, so how I gonna secure my thread in here? It's gonna be a little bit complicated right now because I have my pin in here. So you can do from the front of your canvas, or you can do from the back of your canvas. Doesn't matter which one you want to start. So what I will start, I will poke hole in the middle of this stitch, and let's see if I can bring you even more close to me before it's get out of the focus. Okay, it's gonna be, I'm just gonna keep it right now. Okay, I hope I'm gonna see and not gonna mistake. Okay, so this is my stitch in here. I'm gonna go from the other side. Actually, I'm gonna poke hole from this side and then go from another side so I can see where I go. I'm go like between. Now I can pull out this one and I will show you better. Okay. You see what I did? I did not put my thread into the corner where hole is. I pin like right in the middle of my cross, like in the middle in here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna do this from the other side because my secure thread will be from this side. So now when I poke hole with my needle, I will know where to go. So I'm gonna grab my needle, okay, and I'm go back to the same spot right there. And if we see, okay, you see that it's like in the middle. I'm gonna pull out my thread, not all the way. I'm gonna leave some little tail in here, just like that. And I'm gonna go from this side, go between the other thread next to it, but still on the center. I will go backwards. And I'm gonna look in here. Just wanna make sure we don't get tangled up in here. I will go through this threads and make it kind of like over them. And I'm gonna pull it. You see that? There. My thread now secure. You barely can see from this side, just a little tiny dot in here creates. And very nicely finish gonna be on this side. So now I'm gonna go the way I would start. And my starting point will be, let me just get through the first stitch, which will be right there. Okay, and now I'm coming out. Because I stitched from right to left, I go to my left corner and then I'm gonna stitch from the right. So I pull it out now my bottom left corner as I do, and my cross stitch, the first one will be over this knot that I just make. So I go, make sure you see it. Okay, let me show you forward to you what we have in here. You see? I'm sorry I'm explaining slowly, but I just want for beginners to know very well. So this little dot that we secure our thread, I will make it over this cross right now. And this is how my cross stitching will start. So now I can pull out all the pins. I don't need them anymore because I will start from this corner and I will go up and just spread it out from here. So let me pull out all the pins since I don't need them anymore. I make my first stitch in here, and that's it. I'm not gonna pre-mark my canvas right now, I think, because I'm not sure about the marker if it's good or not, but I don't need it. I will work with my pattern, and I found very nice bright marker highlighter, so I will mark over what I'm doing to make sure I'm doing the right thing and not mistake on counting. All right, I will be right back. The other thing that I want to point it out, as you can see, I already pull out all my pins, and looking right now on the canvas, it's not exactly white. When I compare my other canvas, you can see that this one is pure white and this one kind of like a cream color. But because it's a full stitching, we're not gonna see what kind of color this anyway, because it will go everything under your thread stitching. But what I want to show you, this ends of this canvas is not finished. So like this one, I already bought it. They have, you see those finishing with the threads in here, so it doesn't gonna fray. So you have to do this by machine or by hand, and I show you one time in some of my other video how to do that. So you can just simply, you know, if you don't have a sewing machine to do the stitching, you just do by hand. Just wrap it around so the threads wouldn't come out later on, and I will do this later off the camera. I just want to start with you my first stitching official new project, and as you know me, I like to do in 2 stitches at once. So I kind of like, I roll my canvas, I'm holding like this in my hand, so it's easy for me to hold without the frame because I don't have a frame, and I like to do in 2 stitches at once. So this is what I'm going to do, and now I'm gonna count into my, maybe something that you can see what I'm going to do, my first stitches. Let's see, it's gonna be backwards for you guys, but you're gonna see a little bit in here maybe. Let me put this page under my camera. Hold on, I'm gonna move a little bit like this. Okay, a little bit close. It's a long process to start this video but I just want you to see as much as possible my first, how I begin and stuff like that. So we are going to count in here this stitches in here, and I'm gonna count together with you. So we will need 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 of the stitches we need to do. And this is 16 count 8, guys. It's gonna be a little bit complicated probably, as I don't wear any glasses. I probably need some, but I just want to make sure I can actually do it without magnifying glass, because I don't think I stitched before on 16 count. Only what I did, it's 11 and 14. Okay, I think it's not bad. I can do it. I can do it. 16. So my next challenge will be see if I can do on a 18. I'm not sure if I have a 18 either anything with it yet. I might order some, or maybe that was 16 as well, I'm not sure. So we will do, or should I try to bring you more close to the canvas? And you're gonna help me count there. Hopefully this will do. Easy tension on a thread, don't pull canvas. This canvas not as stiff, it's stiff, but it's pliable, it's not very bad. When you have very soft canvas, it's kind of more dangerous for beginners to pull stitches too hard, it will kind of like a shrink. So what we have here so far, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now this gonna be my 10, my 10. But in here, let's see how far we're gonna get. Then we have next, okay, we did this 10, and it's upside down for you guys right now, but I need to count. So we have 1 2 3 4 of different color, and on the 5th we have another our thread of the same stitches, 1 2 3 4. So I want to see how big it's gonna be on a like a pass through on the back of my canvas, if it's gonna be look good or not. So I'm gonna go 1 2 3 4 to the 5th. Okay, and I have to count. So here you are. This is gonna be my 10th stitch in here, so this one I'm gonna miss. 1 2 3 4, and I'm supposed to come out from here, okay, like this. Do my next stitches, and I'm just gonna double count 1 2 3 4 on 5th. So now from the other side I want to see how big the thread will be hanging in the air. Well, it's not big, maybe like centimeter or so. So I will go through like this. It's okay, it's not a big distance, plus it will be stitching later on the top when I gonna go. So I will go with that, and I will do my next of this 4 stitches in here. And we keep going up. As you can see, I'm not closing the stitches yet. I'm gonna count up and up. One, two, three, and this is going to be my 4th. I'm looking again into my pattern. So we did this, we did this, and okay, so we did 10, we did 4. Now we're gonna miss one, go 1. And to help where I am, I'm gonna use now my marker and see how that work, because I never marked before. I did this, I did this 4, just slightly, and now we're gonna make this 1 in here. So I'm not gonna mark that yet because I didn't do it. Okay, so we're gonna miss 1, and go to next one. Here's would be one that we're gonna stitch. We're gonna miss one and go over one, and we're gonna pre-mark where our next one will go and count again. So now we did this one single one. Now we miss 2 and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Miss 2 and go 9. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you see, I'm gonna, this is gonna be my next one, and I miss 1, 2 and go to my next position, and I think we count 9 of them. We're gonna recount after a few stitches just to make sure. Okay, sorry about that. Have to stop and untangle. Wasn't bad, but it would be take me longer to do on camera. So we need 9 of the stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we are finishing here, and we did all this 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're gonna do this 9. Sorry guys, I have to stop my video again. If you heard a little bit, it was like a phone conversation. That was my son. He's in high school, but because he's doing such a good grade, all his classmates doing an exam, and he is off of exam because he don't need to do. He has a good marks, so he don't have to do any exam. So he's going to be like week at home. So the scammer called on his phone and asking, you know, all those scammers, they need, they call them federal, they threat you to jail and stuff like that, give them social security number, stuff like that. So I spoke to them. I say, excuse me, you calling to a child? Ma'am, this is a federal thing. I say, if you're federal for child, whatever, you would know how old he is, and you should not call to a child. You should call to parents. Start arguing with me, and you can hear the voice like she's an Indian girl. I say, do not call my child again. So she hung up the phone. That's how you're dealing with them. You do not give your phone, you do not give them your social number. And this was just a few days ago pop on my Facebook from the government website. Beware of the social number scammers. Do not give them any documents through the phone number. So guys, be careful up there. Lots of those idiots calling right now, trying to get your identity and steal away from you. So this is what happened. Call to my kid. Are you kidding me? He's 15. Are you gonna scam him? I don't think so. Not on my account. So she hung up because I was really rude, to be honest. I'm done with them. All right, let's do our counting. All right, so here where we are, we did this 9 stitches in here. Now we're gonna miss one and go 1 2 3 4 5 6. Make sure count twice if you have to. Okay, we're gonna miss one, like this, and go to next one. Oh my god, now my hand's shaking. She make me mad with that stupid call. Don't scam my child. Of course he got scared. Oh, it's Federal. And I asked him, Ivan, who you talking to? He just went to the bedroom. So I had to chase him because I knew right away it was something wrong. And, you know, fishy. So make sure you warn your kids so they don't start give information on a phone, because usually they call into adult, but this is like calling to a child. Are you kidding me? Okay, let me count again because now I'm just too freaking angry. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now I'm gonna make a double stitch in here like this because I do not have any more further in this line this symbol. So now all the stitches I will go backwards and finish them, but before I do that I will mark that I did my squares. Okay. And what I like about this yellow highlighter, because I still can see symbols behind them. So I tested out few of them, a different color yesterday, and this bright neon yellow kind of the best work for me right now. So now guys, I'm just gonna go return all those stitches by making a full stitch. Go to the same and make sure my stitching lay down nicely without pulling thread too hard, without making it too loose. Let's see if we can get a little bit more to me. Not anymore, I guess. Okay, this is the closest we can get, guys. And let's do our stitches. Let's see if I can get even more close light to me, maybe there. When you do cross stitching, when you're just learning, make sure your second stitch, well, first one too, but especially second, lining up in the same direction. And I saw one of my friends just learning how to cross stitch, and her stitching is dancing all over the canvas, to the left, to the right. That's not right thing to stitch. My second stitch now is closing from left to right. See, like this would be for you, and they have to always go that way. Okay, I'm gonna step down to my next row. Not to pull too hard, and I just want to see it because this is 2 threads, and hopefully we're not gonna see through. Maybe, I don't know, can we see a little bit canvas peeking through? Well, it says stitch in 2 threads, so because the needle are not as thin, so when I stick into the canvas, it kind of making a bigger hole to thread go easy and not rubbing too hard on the edges of the canvas and not cut threads off. So that's kind of important too, that thread sometimes feel like it's bigger than whole itself on a canvas, and it is, to let your thread go easy. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna have my coffee because that phone call make me angry. I'm just like literally, I need to cool down because my hands are shaky. She trying to argue with me. Oh, ma'am, are you a mother? Yeah, I'm mother. And why are you calling to my child? Don't you ever call again. Oh, this is government about child thing. I don't think so. I say, are you one of those scammers? Get a life. So if this would be government, it wouldn't be never hang up the phone, right? So don't talk to them at all. Just hang up the phone. Bunch of idiots, that's all I can say. Alright guys, I think I will get back to you a little bit when I get back, and maybe we will stitch a little bit further second line. Okay, I make my first full stitches, and because we missed in here the spots, so on the back it's look like this, because we kind of went through here to there and then come back. It's created like a big cross. Now you can avoid them if you don't want, and I will show you on this example. So let's continue second row, and here we have, and usually if I make one of this, I wouldn't count this how many. I would just do one less that I have in here. As you can see, the symbol, new symbol starts where I finish this one. So I'm not gonna even bother count. So that's kind of like an easy way. You just push yourself from the row which you make. So now I'm gonna create all same stitches but less on one. Okay, we're gonna go to this point. So let's continue and see what we're gonna have. So I make my last stitch, and I'm just gonna make sure it's all straight. Pull my thread if I need to. Okay. And I continue same way as I did my first line. That way all my stitches will be pointed out in the same direction. And it's really, really important in cross stitching to do this way. So counting stitches, counting cross stitch could be scary for the first time, but also it's really easy if you just get used to it. See, like right now I can talk to you, I don't need to count. I just know I need to remember that I need to make one less stitch that I did in my first row. Okay, and one more. And this is gonna be my last stitch because I did we're not gonna go to my next one, we're gonna make it one less. So now if you don't want to do those big pass to the next row, because what we have in here, let me get the marker, we just did this line. Okay, now if you don't want to stitch over 3, you can go to this next one and stitch this way and come back to here. So kind of you wiggling your way around. Same thing in here, you have lots of missing in here, but what you can do from here, start stitching this second row, because there's missing in here just a 1 or 2, so this is very little passage, and come back from here. So you kind of wiggling a way around. So let's do that, and I'm gonna show you. I I don't know if you want to do this, but 3, it's kind of like not big deal because it looks big distance in here, right? But in here it's gonna be very short passage, so I probably not gonna do that. But I mean, this is the other way how you can do. You can just not to go that way, but move a little bit to your left, which is right for you right now. You're watching this upside down, and go this way and then come back to this row this way. Okay, but let's just go ahead straight up in here, because I thought, you know, 3, it's not very big deal because it's such a tiny stitches in here, you barely gonna see it. So we are going to go straight up by missing, we need to miss 1, 2, 3 and put on 4th. Okay, so here's the camera. We're gonna get a little bit close. This is gonna be our last stitch, so we're gonna be 1, 2, 3 and come out from here. Okay, it should be like this, and I'm just gonna pull out thread and double check. Okay, because our next stitch will be from here to here, but I want to make sure I have 3 miss. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th is gonna start. Yeah, we're doing all right. So now we're gonna count our next one. We missed this 3, and we're gonna do now in the opposite way. You see, we did this. Let me move a little bit pattern. You see, we did this. Now again, you don't have to count really, you just go even up to the stitch that you make, and then you make 1 more over. Okay, so that's how easy way to count. You go, you see your last stitch on this row that you finish, and you just make 1 more, so you don't really need to count stitches. And that's how I work, guys. So I hope this little tutorial help to somebody who just started cross stitching, guys. And please don't be scared of counted cross stitches, because it's really fun to have from nothing to have something such a beautiful later on the end. So I will get back to you with this progress a little bit. I'm gonna stitch by myself, so it's more comfortable for me and not twisting myself to the camera. But please let me in the comments if you like the way we secure our thread on the very beginning, if any of you does this way or not. So there's many ways, depends how many threads you stitch with. There's a different way how you can secure your thread without creating the knots on it. Alright guys, I will see you in my next episode. Thank you so much for watching.